Sometimes when we have nothing better to do, our minds begin to challenge us to many a stupid idea. Like, hey, what if I try to stow away on another ship in order to escape an island? Simple enough, right? All I have to do is arrive at said island, wait a few hours for somebody to rock up, and then kindly ask them to bring me to the next outpost. Unfortunately, this was a problem that my silver tongue could not fix. I know that a lot of my challenge videos have a great deal of randomness involved, but nothing felt more RNG than hoping that somebody would arrive at the exact island I was on out of the many that this game has to offer. And since I wasn't allowed to use a rowboat, let alone my own ship, yeah, let's just say that I had to face a lot of problems I was not expecting. Just like you were not expecting the segue to our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. For this particular sponsorship, Plarium gave me the freedom to simply talk about the things I like about the game. Number 1, getting new champions. There are few things as exciting as adding a new champion to your roster, especially those that you can unlock for free, though I will lie if I didn't admit that I get particularly excited about pulling a legendary champion from a shard. Let's go! Yes! Number 2, progression. Because pretty as these fellas are, champions exist to go out and collect loot, and some of the most fun I have in this game is mixing and matching the champions I own to find the best way to complete these challenges. And number 3, updates. There's always something to do in Raid, with them adding tons of new content and events to the game, like right now with the Egg Hunt event. Simply download Raid Shadow Legends using the link below and head on over to egghunt.plarium.com from April 14th to May 15th. Once you have entered your player ID, you can journey through the Flaming Portal to embark on an AR adventure, and if you can find a hidden dragon egg inside the dragon's lair, you'll be in for a chance to win prizes ranging from a legendary Raid champion all the way to Amazon gift cards with a total value of $20,000. If you are new, definitely make sure to use my link down below or scan my QR code on screen right now to gain a whole bundle of useful items to kickstart your adventure, including Epic Champion Talia. And feel free to join my Discord if you want to be part of our community clan. Big shout out to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video, and now, onto our standard programming. To start off our challenge, the most important thing to consider was our destination of choice. Ideally, I'd want to be stranded on an island with a lot of traffic to maximize my chances of coming across other players, and for this first attempt, my choice fell on Mermaid's Hideaway. Though in an awkward twist, that island was already inhabited. Hello? Is somebody here? Are they getting ready for combat? What's good? Yeah, he's waving. Hey, I'm coming up, don't get scared. I'm not trying to fight you. Hello? Hey, I'm not trying to fight. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You gotta reload that. Listen, I'm not trying to fight. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. I'm gonna help you. Did they just leave that treasure behind? There's no way. Definitely not how I imagined this challenge to begin, but hey, having treasure is better than not having treasure, right? After consolidating the loot, I scuttled my ship to begin my island lifestyle in earnest. And tell you what, there was plenty to do. I figured that I could use any treasure I find to hand it over as payment to the next vessel that arrives. But of course, hiding it would be necessary, because why would they engage in negotiations if they can just blow me up and collect it without my consent? However, the most valuable treasure was only about to present itself. Oh! How mad would you guys be if I didn't attack this guy right now? Should I just not attack him? Should I let him get away? I mean, he's trying to get away. I'm just kidding. For those of you not in the know, this was an ancient skeleton that awarded me 137 ancient coins, which is a currency you would usually need to spend real money on, and a currency that I have spent real money on. Though getting the voices in my head all up in arms about the prospect of me not making use of this extremely rare occasion was definitely entertaining. Entertaining myself truly was the biggest problem, because I had absolutely no idea when the next time would be that somebody heads towards this island. Though I wasn't gonna be in solitude much longer, with a sloop having shown up not too far away. Unfortunately, this was not the crew of gold hoarders that I accidentally scared away. It was an Order of Souls vessel targeting a neighboring shipwreck. There are very few reasons for an Order of Souls emissary to set foot on Mermaid's Hideaway, so if I wanted to get them to come over, I needed to get their attention. I need to get into megaphone range. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, please come back. No, please come back. No. Please come back. I'm stranded. Please. please come back. I've been here for over an hour. I scared them into selling again. How did I scare 2 ships into selling? That was a good question. I'm about as non-threatening as they come. Alas, my time on Mermaid's Hideaway was not over just yet, so I had no choice but to continue living the survival lifestyle. Though that was not the last I had seen of that Order of Souls vessel, with them continuing to stay in the area. It felt like I had a once-in-a-million opportunity with them potentially being on a voyage that does lead them to this island. So naturally, I decided to shoot my shot. I either die or I get off this island. Hey, can you hear me? Hello? I'm stranded on this island. I need help. Can anyone hear me? Any microphones? Hello? Hey, hello. Please, don't you please. Come on. I'd flipped my coin and unfortunately it landed on heads, meaning I lost my head instead of getting off the island. My hours of patience had not been rewarded, and I realized that if I want to complete this challenge, stealth would have to be my weapon of choice. So of course I had no choice but to start over again on another day, on another island, with a new plan. Okay, chat, we need an island with a lot of traffic. What is an island that people do a lot of voyages on? It can't be Thieves Haven. Nobody does Thieves Haven runs anymore. Old Faithful, good one. Cannon Cove is too close to the outpost, so is Lone Cove. But I guess every island is kind of close to an outpost in some regard. Need to find the Ohio of Sea of Thieves. And that we did. Rather than agonizing over that perfect destination, the voices and I decided to head on over to Cannon Cove and try our luck. And as soon as our vessel was disposed of, we could go ahead and dive into our second attempt. Naturally, the first step was to fill our pockets, and it seemed like supplies were not gonna be an issue. There was plenty of food to go around, and I even stumbled upon an ammo crate. A conveniently spawned message in a bottle was gonna make for my entertainment of choice, until I found out that the quest inside was not for the island I was on. Unlucky. But if you thought that was odd, then well, it was about to get a lot more weird. Wilson, I'm coming. Wilson! Wilson! Come over here. You my friend. Here we go. Welcome to the crew, Wilson. How do I have... Wait, what? Okay, hold up. Why do I have 2 mermaids? Is somebody on the island? Is somebody already stranded here? Or maybe it's Wilson's mermaid. You're right, chat. Listen, I know this might seem strange to some of you guys, especially in regards to what happened the last time I recruited a chicken to my crew, but hey, beats being alone, doesn't it? I spent the night scavenging for more supplies and treasure before setting myself up to have a nice breakfast with Wilson. Tempting as it was to have a big bowl of oyakodon for breakfast, I instead decided to hunt for some wild boars. I was fairly certain that my new crewmate would not mind me chowing down on some pork, though he didn't seem to have much of an appetite himself. I was full of hope for the second attempt being successful because the 2 of us immediately found another ship not too far away, currently clearing a skelly fleet. But because I was not convinced that they would come all the way over to Cannon Cove upon completion, I decided to swim the short distance over to a neighboring island in hopes of being able to intercept their course to an outpost. Wilson was excited to finally get to see the world as well, even if it was a slow and arduous process, and things were not meant to get easier once we arrived. Oh, no. Yo, go away. Go away. Alright, so we got an ammo crate. Oh god, oh stop, sorry. I didn't realize that was that deep. Oh boy. Leave! Life was definitely a lot more cumbersome with me not only having to fend for my own life, but also for my crewmates. We escaped the grasp of the shark for now, but even after a whole night spent on this island, there was no ship coming anywhere near us. Now, I was perfectly content with waiting for another couple hours, but it was obvious that Wilson was longing for the sea. I would have definitely preferred if he pointed us towards an outpost, but if it's an inactive skeleton fort he wanted to see, I'd be more than happy to oblige. Needless to say that more shark encounters were on the menu, but this was nothing I could not handle thanks to the abundance of supplies I found across my last 2 destinations. Also, for all of you nerds who undoubtedly wrote a comment about how I was spawning a new mermaid every time I ran from one side to the other at Cannon Cove, take a look at this. Okay, now these mermaids are actually taking the piss. They're unironically both here at the same time. You can no longer tell me this is not Wilson's mermaid. Yeah, better untype that comment while you still can. Since the skelly fleet was still up but no player vessel was anywhere around, it was safe to assume that the only potential ship I could escape on had sunk. And as such, I decided to continue swimming through shark-infested waters. Whilst that went reasonably well for most of our travels, eventually, our luck ran out. Oh boy. What? I got 2-tapped by a shark? That I certainly did. I can't say that I have ever faced an ocean-dwelling beast with that level of ferocity before, but that's besides the point, because now Wilson had to fend it off. I know that I had a challenge to complete, but victory would feel hollow if I can't achieve it with my friend, so I went back in a hurry in an attempt to save him, but time was against us. Wilson, where are you? What happened to Wilson? I got eaten by a shark. We're trying to find him now. I'm just gonna stare, because I think this is the angle I came in on. Is this not the right fort? Am I at the wrong fort? I am at the wrong fort! Nobody told me I'm at the wrong fort! What the hell, chat? Wilson! Wilson, are you alive? He is alive! Let's go! Wilson is alive! The only reasonable conclusion I could come to was that Wilson had defeated the shark and waited for my arrival. This was truly a magical moment, though it did put into perspective what I was actually trying to achieve. Me subjecting myself to a dumb challenge is one thing, but dragging innocent lives into it as well is just taking it a step too far. Besides, with all the swimming I did, I could have always just swam to an outpost anyway, so what's the point of me waiting for a ship? So I decided to do the only thing that was right and bring him over to Daggertooth Outpost, because that was the home of somebody who truly loved chickens. Is that the lady that's all about chickens? Give me 1 second.
Do you like chickens?
Oh my god, I do! I have the perfect friend for you. Here. And as such, a months-long adventure had found its end. Trust me when I say that I attempted this challenge many times over the last little while without ever getting close to success, so unfortunately, this is gonna be as good as it gets. But if you're wondering what happened the last time I brought a chicken along on my adventure, make sure to check out my last episode about the new most dangerous chest in Sea of Thieves. Definitely had a lot more action than this one, and you can find the code on screen right now. But until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you guys have a day filled with the riches on the sea, and until next time, peace.